Hi, Dominica here from easysewingforbeginners.com. In this video I'm going to be showing you how to sew on a button. Okay, so just to start off, I'm just going to show you there's a couple of ways to sew on a 4-hole button. You see on this button here that it's been sewn on using kind of like 2 loops. Okay, and then on this shirt here you'll see that they've sewn it on using a crisscross with the thread. So when I'm going to sew on a button that's fallen off a shirt, just take a look at the other buttons just to work out exactly how I'm going to sew it on. Just a tip, if you've lost your button completely, you might find if you take a look inside your clothing, you might just find that there's a spare button on the inside tag in the seam. So it's worth having a look just in case. Okay, let's get on to sewing our button. So all you need is your clothing or your fabric that you're sewing your button onto. You need your button and your needle and thread, and I've doubled my thread over and knotted it at the end there. So to get started, what I'm going to do is I can pretty much see where the buttons come off, so that'll help me work out where the button needs to go. So first thing I'm going to do is put a couple of pins in to help form the shank, help create the shank. Just like so. Now the shank is the space in between your fabric and your button, and just helps the other piece of fabric sit in there nicely without being too tight and bunching up. Okay, so I've got my needle and thread, so I'm going to put it through the fabric from the back on one side of the pins and bring it all the way through, and that knot there should hold it in place. I might just put my pins a little bit closer together there. Okay, I'm going to put my needle through the hole on the button, and getting started can be a little bit awkward. If I've used my thumb and my finger just to hold the button in place. Alright, I'm going to aim to put my needle through and get the thread to come out on the other side of those needles, of those pins at the back there. Okay. Alright. And you just have to go by feel to get the needle back through the original hole. So I repeat this probably about 5 to 6 times on either side. Now if you want, when you're creating the shank, I've seen some people hold a toothpick on the top of the button. You could try that. I find it a bit awkward, so I found this way a little bit easier for me. If you wanted to create a bigger shank, you could put some extra pins in and see if that works for you. Okay. Once I've done that 5 or 6 times, just going to go over to the other side now. Making sure I get my thread on the other side of the pins there. Okay, now I can remove those pins. The next thing I'm going to do is just bring my thread back through the fabric and try and bring the needle out in between the fabric and the button. I'm going to wind my thread around the button maybe 4 times. Maybe one more for good luck. going to push my needle back through to the back of the fabric. Oops. Okay, and then I'm going to hook my thread under one of the other stitches there that I've already done. And then the next couple of times, before I pull it all the way through, see that you've got a bit of a loop there at the end. I'm going to put my needle through the loop and just pull it gently, and that'll really help to secure and anchor that thread in there. Yep. Okay. Snip the excess thread off, and there you have it, sewn on a button. Now you've noticed I've used a contrasting thread there just so you could see it a bit easier, but usually I'd try and match up the thread with what's already on there. If you have any questions or comments about this video, then just leave them down below. I'd love to hear from you. And if you like this video, found it helpful, then hit the thumbs up button. Thanks for watching.